Hi, in this video I'll show you how to change the shock absorber, the spring and the strut support mount on Mitsubishi Space Star. First thing we need to do is remove the brake hose from the shock absorber, then remove the two bolts that hold the shock absorber to the wheel hub. We also need to remove the nut hood that's holding the drive axle and move the drive axle back so it doesn't go anywhere while we remove the shock absorber. So we start by removing the nut for the drive axle. Next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the clamp that's holding the brake hose to the shock absorber. Next we remove the two bolts that are holding the shock absorber. Next we're gonna put elastic rope so that it holds the whole wheel hub assembly while we remove the shock absorber. Now we remove the two bolts that hold the shock absorber, and after the shock absorber is released down there, we go up and remove the three bolts, the three nuts that hold the shock absorber on the top. After the shock absorber is released on the top, now we can remove the shock absorber from the car and start changing all the parts that need to be changed on the shock absorber. We're going to use this spring compression tool in order to compress the spring so that we can change the shock absorber and the support mount on top. First we'll compress the spring. Then we're going to get a marker and mark exactly the position of the shock absorber with the spring and the support mount so that when we put the new ones, they're exactly the same way. By marking them, we know the exact position on the three parts so that we don't make mistake and put one of the parts in a different position and then it will not sit well. We'll put locking pliers on the shock absorber so that when we turn the try to loosen the nut, the whole shock absorber doesn't turn. Now we remove everything and start putting the new parts in. We have to make sure the two shocks are exactly the same. Before putting on the new shock, we need to compress the shock a couple of times by hand so that it starts moving before we put it on the spring. Next we put on the new support mount and the new bearing, and afterwards we put the nut and tighten it. Before tightening it, we need to make sure that all the markings that we've marked are aligned, and then we can tighten the nut. Now that we're finished assembling it, we can put it back on the car. And now we can assemble everything back in the reverse order. And that's it. Thank you for watching the video. If the video was helpful, consider subscribing to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. Thank you very much.